Once upon a time, I was over 410 pounds, with no direction and even less motivation. I carried the attitude of, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never came. I am now writing the rest of my story, one day at a time, and you can too. Welcome to Once Upon a Time Fitness. Hello YouTube, Lee again. I'm going to be doing another video, and this time I'm going to be doing Insight Part 2. Now, in the first video, which went out, it's one of my first videos I've done, to be honest. It was definitely one of my longest ones I've done so far. I talked partially about how I was when I was overweight. I touched on my depression. I touched on how people treated me and why I sort of took myself out of social situations. Today I want to talk about my recovery, and although I've not recovered yet in terms of 100% physically, mentally I've come so far. Right, I was once upon a time self-harming, suicidal thoughts, and even tried acting upon them thoughts a handful of times in my life. Now, again, hopefully one day I'm going to get noticed and my channel is going to take off, and when it does, people are going to look at this and be very hateful, I'd imagine. Not everybody, and definitely not the majority, but there's always people out there that will, and they're going to be saying, why didn't you go through with it, why didn't you take your life, etc, etc. To them, you mean nothing to me, because I've come out the other side of that, and I'm glad I did, because I'm learning so much about myself now, even at the age I am at now. So, ha ha ha. Enjoy your trolling, bitches. Anyway, back to the video. Yeah, so I had a handful of people that got me through. The main person who I'm so lucky to have in my life would be my partner, Kerry. Without her, I wouldn't be here now. She gave me reason to fight. She didn't have to do that, because on my darkest days I wasn't easy to be around. In fact, I was impossible. My daughter had just been born, and the first couple of months, brilliant. Was running around, keeping busy, wanting to get fit. And then routine kicked in, and I went back to my old ways, feeling low, not motivated, just feeling like shit. I went on to then push my daughter and my partner Kerry away. Friends done the same thing with, family, everybody. This is around the time I stopped leaving the house, which I told you guys about, but I weren't getting out of bed. I just couldn't be bothered to do anything. The only time I really got out of bed was of an evening when the rest of the world was going to bed, and that would be when I'd do my binge eating, have conversations within myself, like, not so much voices in my head, but I'd find wrong and bad and even evil in most things, and I'd be questioning, what's the point? Now, anybody that's ever had this illness will know, when you're there, you feel trapped, like there's no way out. It's hard. And several times I tried taking my life, I always bottled it. It wasn't that I saw reality. I bottled it. Thankfully, don't get me wrong. And I turned to food. And I would consume a load of food in a handful of sittings, not many sittings. And as I said in the previous video, it wasn't nice food, but all the same, it wasn't good either. Body got weaker and heavier. I put on so much weight in such a short period of time, and ended up just being a mess. You could see gradually as I was putting on weight, in the space of probably about 4 years, I went from a healthy weight to morbidly obese. And it was hard. My partner didn't know what to do. Her main concern was our daughter, which I'll always be grateful for. She did everything. She looked after me, she looked after my daughter. She didn't even put herself third, fourth or fifth in the race. She didn't do nothing for her. She was so selfless in this respect, and for that I'll be forever grateful. My daughter, I love my daughter dearly. Our relationship isn't what a father and daughter relationship should be, unfortunately, and I can only assume that was due to what I was like when she was younger. Now, I never ever harmed them physically, but I did lash out a lot, and it must have scared them. I'm a big guy. Even once I've lost all the fat, I'm still going to be a big guy. For people obviously that watch this and don't know me, I'm just a picture on the screen, but I'm 6'4", and I'm quite broad. And my partner, she's gonna hate me for saying this, but she's a little shorty. She's 5 foot nothing, and yeah, it's quite comical when we're walking down the road with each other. Which, to be fair, since we've had kids, doesn't happen often where it's just us two. But yeah, she saved me ultimately. Feel like I'm going off a bit off topic here, guys. Sorry about that. Right. Anyway, so I was indoors eating mainly only like I say a handful of times a day, but I was eating massive amounts of portion, and wasn't doing anything in terms of being a partner or a father or a human being for that matter. Just a waste of life almost. I had my friend Emma. She sort of persuaded me to go and to see someone, which I did. At the time, I didn't feel it was helping, but to be honest, I don't think I was ready either. Anybody that's suffered with depression and come out the other side, you have to be ready to want to come out the other side. You can't just switch a button on and it happens. But you know, she tried for me, and again, that means so much to me. Another person that supported me a lot was my aunt. She would run around for us because I wasn't unable to. To be fair, it's her way. She's such a good woman. She'd do anything for anybody, even if she didn't know you. It's just her nature, and again, I'm very fortunate to have someone like that in my life. When I started getting better, it wasn't until we moved into our next flat, to be honest with you, and like most things, new place, new start. Leave your demons in the cupboard and the house you're moving out of. and my daughter was at nursery. My partner had started going to work because I was getting better. So she was working, I was looking after our daughter who was a toddler, about to start nursery. And I started involving routine, which was brilliant. Routine was so important for me in terms of on the road to recovery. But every now and then I'd relapse. Nothing to the point where it was like years on years, but it might last a week or two. But it wasn't nice. And again, that would throw up problems with my partner, with my relationship with my daughter, and with anybody else that I come into contact with. The biggest issue I've had through this depression is the people I've lost. I had so many friends as a kid, even after, say, secondary school and things like that. And I let so many of them down due to which they probably perceive as not being bothered. But it was all down to my illness, and I don't know, I've never been big enough to front and face to face and apologise and explain, because for me it's not an excuse, and I wouldn't expect their forgiveness either, due to that being my reason. There was no reason. I let them down, and people only like being let down so many times before they walk away. So I had to start again. I did finally seek help again, and did have counselling, which was great. It helped me so much. I'm never ever going to be better in terms of how I put myself down, in terms of my outlook on life. That's not true. I look at things at a slightly different angle on life now, and it makes it easy to accept the negative and the bad things, whether it's about me or about the outside world. And it makes it easier for me to sort of go, okay, I can accept that, and it doesn't get me down anymore. I suppose I used to be a guy that used to wear his heart on his sleeve, if you like, and I used to let things get to me all the time, and the outcome of that was an eating disorder. Again, it does sound a bit like a cop-out, doesn't it? But I don't know what to tell you, it is what it is. But I'm at the other side now, and I have been for a good while now, to be honest. But I never did anything about the weight afterwards, apart from yo-yo diet, which I talked about. But that's changing. 9 weeks? Coming up 10 weeks? It's gone bloody fast, I know that. And I'm seeing some really good results, and it's making me feel really good inside myself. Now, I'm hoping one day I'll be able to look back on these videos and go, don't recognise that person in that video. I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to be strong physically and mentally, and I'm going to be able to go out every single day, and if anybody ever needs help, I'm going to be able to offer it. Whether it's advice, whether it's just an ear to talk to, whether it's someone I can just kick out the arse and go, come on, get down the gym, eat better, cut that out. Every little helps, right? But that's my plan going forward. That's another bit more of my history. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Have a good one, guys.